That game right there was such a bad taste in his mouth that he's like, man, is this time to leave? Is this time to leave? I will say Michigan is doing all that they can to alleviate these situations, i.e. this. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football, back at it again. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. Never been here before. This is Jake with Master Football, pro football, college football, video game football, anything related to American football we discuss in the show right now. Please subscribe, please like, please share, please comment, subscribe, do all of that. I really appreciate it. It helps drive engagement. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, so we have been in pro football head coaching territory recently. So you know that closer to the signing day, about 2 weeks before, that's right around that conference championship time. That's right when college football new coaches get, kind of ramped up. That was when a whole bunch of players or teams lost their head coaches. They went to new positions and everything like that. Now we're in the pro football area, so we have to kind of see what's happening there. There was one player from the college ranks that was rumored to go to the pro ranks. That's good old Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh was originally rumored as apparently to go to the Raiders job. He actually, and apparently what the answer was if they had offered him, he would have considered it. Now, he also just recently interviewed with the Minnesota Vikings. Where did he end up with that one? So here we go. Sources. Jim Harbaugh tells Michigan he will return. Rams OC Kevin O'Connell emerges as Vikings favorite. Courtney Cronin, February 2nd, 2020, says right here, Jim Harbaugh called Michigan to inform the school that despite interviewing with Minnesota on Wednesday, he'll be returning to the school for the 2020 season. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Michigan was, in the words of one source, elated to get Harbaugh's decision. Harbaugh told one athletic director, Ward Manuel, this would not be a recurring issue and that he would be staying at Michigan as long as the school wants him, sources said. It's a big consideration there because if he's already kind of flirting, then it means he kind of wants to be gone. And now there are several aspects of why he wants to be gone. Returning to the pro ranks, winning at the highest level, there are things like that. I strongly suspect that one of the big reasons why was this game. So here we are in the college football semifinal at the Capital One Orange Bowl. So you see here 34-11, Georgia Bulldogs come over there and they just annihilate the Michigan Wolverines. You see the back Stetson Bennett, who's not even necessarily a super strong passer. He ain't a weak passer, don't get me wrong. He's not a super strong passer. He's definitely more of a slash type guy. 313, 3 touchdowns, 95.9 QBR. That's out of 100, so he's on fire. You see there the fact that they had 35 carries for 190 yards rushing. And then, Michigan, they only had, 230 passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Cade McNamara had a 42.1 QBR. Not the greatest game in the world. They had 27 carries for 91 yards. They just felt like they were outmatched physically in several different areas. So a big aspect of why he wanted to leave, Jim Harbaugh wants to leave Michigan, or at least he did want to leave Michigan, was because there are at times situations where those northern teams get into games with southern and or not West Coast teams, basically only USC when they're good, but they get in the situation where they get in those southern teams, Clemson, Florida States, in addition to the SEC teams, maybe even some Texas and Oklahoma teams, and they just don't have the athletes to keep up. So where does that put them? This is a big aspect of why Brian Kelly left Notre Dame. Brian Kelly was sitting there thinking, he was like, man, it's so hard to recruit to Notre Dame. I'm having such a hard time, and all these SEC guys can just bring in somebody, do well, and then just pull all the guys away from me. I can't have it. They have the great GPA requirements. It's a much more difficult issue. So he decided, and again, if somebody throws you $100 million at you, you're going to leave. So he does that, goes down to LSU. I suspect that this was kind of the same situation here, where in the pros, it's more difficult, especially with acquisition of players, in terms of, the fact that if you do well, your draft pick is worse, where in college football, if you do well, then you get more draft picks. You get 5 first-round picks. So there's an aspect of that I think is going on here. I also think the fact that game right there was such a bad taste in his mouth that he's like, man, is this time to leave? Is this time to leave? I will say Michigan is doing all that they can to alleviate these situations, i.e. this. So I said before that the Michigan Wolverines, and again, they are doing their best to overcome the fact that there seems to be a clear talent gap between them and those big-time games. I mean, they played Ohio State. Ohio State's one of the few northern teams that actually can consistently play with these southern teams on a week-to-week basis. I know last year that Penn State beat Auburn, blah, blah, blah. Auburn was a 6-6 team in the SEC. But you see here the fact that Michigan football commits number 9 class in the country, in the country. Continuing on here, so you see Will Johnson, cornerback, Keon Sabb, safety, Tyler Morris, wide receiver, Darius Clemens, wide receiver, Zeke Berry, safety. You see the fact that they're definitely trying to alleviate that. We got Cody Jones, athlete, more than likely going to be some sort of either a skill position guy or a defensive secondary guy. You got Alex Orji at quarterback. You see the fact here that they're definitely trying to address this. Amorion Walker, the number 71 wide receiver in the country, 6'4", 175. They are trying to alleviate the speed and skill advantage outside that a lot of the SEC teams had, even with Georgia. So Georgia, when they played Alabama the first time, there was a definite discrepancy between those two freaky receivers, okay, and what Georgia had. When those two got injured and they weren't available in the national championship game, you saw a much closer game. I suspect that Michigan's like, listen, dude, we're plenty big. We need to somehow alleviate just the outside gap. I also suspect that there's going to be a big battle between these two next year. So starting quarterback Cade McNamara, 6'1", 206, he was the number 7 quarterback prospect in the country when he came out in 2018. However, I think that for him, he is a solid quarterback, game manager, things like that. He does a good job, and the game manager is not disrespectful. He just does what he can with the plays that he can. I do think, though, that the future is J.J. McCarthy. If you ever watched J.J. McCarthy, he is a burner at quarterback. Taller, faster, not sure about the arm, probably about the same, but at the same time, I'm thinking that J.J. McCarthy he presents problems to SEC defenses that they would actually have to, respect. No disrespect to Cade McNamara. Cade McNamara is a solid guy, but J.J. McCarthy is a part of that 2.0 quarterback. The 2.0 quarterback, meaning the guy that can stretch you with his legs and with his arm, not just one or the other. He can do both. So I think that if Michigan wants to get to that point, I think continue to keep on recruiting. Okay, John Harbaugh staying there is good. Okay, continue to keep on beefing up your offensive line. That's what Michigan, that's what these Big Ten teams do. The Big Ten line play is always, always good. But I think that J.J. McCarthy is your key to being a team that can threaten against those SEC teams when you get to those big-time bowl games. All right, guys, so Jim Harbaugh is not going anywhere. What do you guys think? Are you happy about it? Do you think he's eventually going to leave? Do you think he wants to stay? What do you think's going on there? You guys let me know. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that. I'd appreciate it. I am gone. I am so tired. Bye-bye.